All right, guys. All right. Yes. Okay. So Sony has just announced that they see an end date for the shortages for the PlayStation 5. Now, I know it's crazy. We've been waiting a very long time. I am just as hyped as you guys are. We're finally going to start seeing it in store shelves. When's the date, guys? Probably like what? The end of 2022, maybe 2023, maybe end of 2023. That's a bit of a stretch, right? Like it's got to be at least pretty soon because we're already about 2 years into the life cycle. So I mean, come on, it's got to be pretty soon, right? What's the date? 2024. It's not going to normalize until around 2024. Okay, that's terrible. That's just, I mean, that's 4 years in to the lifespan of the console. To put that in perspective, 4 years into the lifespan of this console is more than half of the lifespan of the PlayStation 4. It's making this generation really weird because normally it's a lot easier to track the progression of things and go, oh, technology's changing and everyone's excited about the console and everyone's playing it and you can kind of tell there's a clear winner of this different console and this different console and this one's selling more than this one. And I mean, we're seeing that kind of. I mean, PlayStation has sold 20 million consoles, which is a lot. I know Xbox is a little bit less. Both are sold out all the time. So it's very interesting to see that there is even a difference in sales. I guess Sony's doing a better job of producing the PlayStation 5 than Xbox is with the Series X, even though Series S is everywhere. I'm not sure if that's counting towards the sales. Maybe it is. I don't know. But the thing is, 20 million's a lot. But I'm still constantly getting people in my comment section online frustrated that they cannot get a system. There are still people streaming like Jake Randall trying to help people get a PlayStation 5. We are close to 2 years in and we're still having people trying to get help to find the system. That is absurd. And what's even weirder is that we're hearing rumors and leaks of a PlayStation 5 Pro and possibly an Xbox Series X Pro, whatever the hell they'd call that, which is just weird. I mean, people can't even get the regular systems, and honestly, 4 years into the lifespan of the system, it would make sense to launch one of those mid-tier systems that we've now grown accustomed to, the Xbox One X and the PlayStation 4 Pro. But that was when everybody could just buy the console in the store. It wasn't years to buy one of those things. It was like a couple of months for the sales to get normalized and to start seeing them in the stores. I don't remember really having an issue buying an Xbox One or a PlayStation 4. Both seemed pretty easy to get. And if I remember correctly for the Switch, again, it was only a couple months instead of going on 2 years already, and supposedly 4 years total until we just start seeing it in the stores. So if there really is a mid-generation console, what's the point? I mean, these console manufacturers take a loss when they sell the console, most of the time, not including Nintendo. But most of the time they take a loss because they make most of their money off of software sales. In fact, in a recent article that came out, it was talking about how PlayStation is making a giant chunk of revenue off of free-to-play games because they're just taking their cut and they're making money doing nothing. Because you're playing on their system and you're playing that free-to-play game on there and you're paying those microtransactions through that system, they're taking a chunk, they're making money, and they don't have to do anything. They don't have to sell you anything. And that's where they get most of their money from. Licensing, selling their own games from companies that they own, like PlayStation now owns a bunch of companies, Microsoft owns a bunch of companies, and they make the majority of money through that. So coming out with a pro-level system just doesn't make sense to me, and I'm hoping they don't go through with it, because if it's already difficult to just buy the basic system right now, the basic Xbox Series X, the basic PlayStation 5, what's it gonna be like trying to buy a Pro system? I can't even imagine how rare that type of system would be, and I'm now trying to figure out who the market would even be for, because no one's going to upgrade really, and if they do, there's going to be a very small amount of people that do it, because I mean, they probably just got their hands on the system. So with all of these new users that are constantly being put into the PlayStation ecosystem, why would anybody then fork over another, let's say $700 for a Pro system? And from what I've seen so far, we've had some great looking games, but nothing's really been pushing the PlayStation 5 to the point where I'm like, oh, I need an upgrade already. And people still have that new product feel to it, even 2 years in, because of how hard it is to find. I'm still just shocked by that date that Sony has given us. 2024 is the estimated date where we're just going to see this sitting on store shelves. And that's insane to me. We've never seen anything like this before. And I'm guessing it's just because of the circumstances we're in. But I feel like almost everything has kind of gone back to normal. A lot of people are getting called back into offices. People are going back to work. I don't know. It's very strange to see that we're still having this supply chain issue. And it's also a testament to how excited people are about this now current gen of systems. The fact that it is selling out constantly is crazy. Now, you could just blame bots for this, because I'm sure bots existed back in the day for those other systems, but not nearly as rampant as it is now. Now, because of how many people are using bots, how many people are reselling and scalping, maybe that's what's really made this a pain in the ass, and it could be something we see in the future for every new console. At least the nice thing is the PlayStation 4 is still being supported. Almost every single game that has come out for PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5. There are very few games that have only come out for the PlayStation 5, and those games are now slowly being ported to PC, which is kind of funny. And it's funny because I'm saying thankfully they're still supporting the PlayStation 4, when originally I was saying, hey, they need to stop making games for the PlayStation 4, you're limiting yourselves, you are just dialing it into the older hardware, you're not going to take advantage of the PlayStation 5. But now that I'm looking at this through a different perspective of the fact that it's going to be another 2 years before we see these things just sit on the shelves, and the fact that they're probably not really scaling down the games because it's still the same platform. A lot of people are saying the Xbox One S is going to hinder the Xbox Series X. And I used to agree with that sentiment, but the more you think about it, how does that make sense? If you really stop and just ponder the situation with the consoles and how that relates to PCs, and how lower end PCs have never been a barrier to higher fidelity games, why would a lower end console be a barrier to the higher end consoles? You know what I mean? Why can't they just make the games they want to make, target the upper end of systems, and then tone down the graphics, tone down the frame rate, and all of those other things to then make it work on the older system? I mean, it's not like they don't have the dev kits for each of these systems, and I know it's going to require some more work, but I still feel that this is not going to really hinder the progress as much as a lot of people think it is. Will it hinder it at all? Probably a little bit, just because they're not only gearing it towards the top end, but I don't think it's going to be as much of an effect on the games overall as most people think. I just don't think it's going to affect it that much. Plus, honestly, like I've said before, the more people able to access the games, the better. So even if we are hindered a little bit with graphical fidelity just so other people can play it and have the ability to play it, I'm okay with that. I'm fine if we're not going to get ultra super duper realistic games because they need to work on previous gen systems or lower end systems like the Xbox One S. I know this is probably going to be an unpopular opinion, but I'm completely fine with it. And the games we've seen on the PlayStation 5 that are also in the PlayStation 4 look phenomenal on the PlayStation 5, run beautifully, and they keep adding new updates and improvements like they did with Spider-Man, like they did with the new Horizons game, and like they've done with a lot of other games that are featured on both of the platforms. So I don't think we're going to see that much of a hindrance there, and I'm honestly happy that they're still making games for the older gen systems. And also the fact that PlayStation started ramping up production of the PlayStation 4 again just so people could have a console, because for some reason even the PlayStation 4s were selling out. Again, I was very happy about that. That's a great thing. A lot of people are saying, why don't they just turn the other facilities that were making PlayStation 4s into PlayStation 5 facilities? I don't know. I kind of agree with that, but I don't know what would go into that to make that work. Maybe that's a more complicated process than we think, and I'm sure it probably is. So there you go. We got the confirmation of when the shortages are going to end. It's not great news. I wish I could be delivering better news, but just if you want one, I guess keep watching streams, keep following people on Twitter, and eventually you'll get one. I mean, most people I know that have wanted one, they stuck it out. Don't buy from scalpers, or they're just going to keep doing what they've been doing and making it difficult for people to buy them, and you'll get one eventually. It sucks you have to put a whole lot of effort into buying a product that you should just be able to, I don't know, buy, but that's where we're at. Let me know in the comments down below if you've gotten a PlayStation 5, or if you've still been struggling to get one, or if you've kind of just given up and you're happy with the PlayStation 4 for now. Thanks for watching, everybody. Like the video if you guys liked it, subscribe for more content, and as always, have a fantastic day. See you, everybody.